Okay, is it recording actually? I think it is, yeah. So I was just installing my printer. You can see I just made it, but let me show me the terminal. Select font. Just let it be a little bit bigger. So as you can see, I wanted to install my HP printer, and then when it comes to the driver plugin installation, it usually says, do you want to download that thing? Then you say yes, and a little window like this size pops up, and it says root, which you can't change, and then you have to give in a root password. I never gave a root password. Then I wanted to create the user root under users. Of course, I couldn't see him, no? But user root existed already. So if you ever get stuck with that, it's not an elegant solution, what they did at Peppermint OS. There you go. See at this, English Bob. What did they do to me here? Holy moly. So what I did, yeah, here I did change the password for the group root. Oh, dang it. Doesn't really matter. But on the end, I went and changed the root password itself for root the user. And that is done with, in Peppermint OS, you say sudo space pass with double S, wd space root, and then you give in the root password. Otherwise, you might not be able, if there's anything else in the HP printer installation tool asking for a root password, to provide a root password, because it ain't working. There is no root password. When you set Peppermint OS up, it does not ask you for a root password, and it doesn't use your sudo user's password as a root password either. So you have to create this. So in terms, here you go, now you go here, English Bob. In terms of efforts to get this system user-friendly, customer-friendly, I would think there is no big difference between Calculate Linux. And the thing is now, if you haven't set up the home partition, and Johan, I'm speaking to you, put in home, have a second partition, call it home partition. Very important. Even if you don't do the nobody's home setup, but have one, because if you use Peppermint OS or MX17 and you want to update one day, you lose all these little things. You know, you do all these little tweaks, and then after 2 years or 3 years, they update their software, and you can't do it, or you do it and you lose all your little tweaks and stuff you did. So, in order to prevent this, have a home partition, honestly. And for you, my friend, English Bob, that is not customer friendly. It's not set up and forget, you know. It's not that you push a few buttons and you have an operating system which works. Yes, it works, but in the moment you have to do something extra like a printer install, a noob user wouldn't have known that you can actually, because you're sudo, that you can change the password from root. So you see, I did some try and error. I said, okay, not a big deal. I just go in SU. So I changed user. Couldn't do it. I said, okay, then try my password, didn't do it. Then I tried no password, didn't do it. And then I made a mistake here. I used G password. That is actually for the group, right? That's why there is a G. Yeah, if I could read properly and spell, then I would have that known before. However, you can change or give a root password in Peppermint OS. I will put that in the description. That's what you have to put in. Then you will be asked for a new password, retypes a new password, and that will be your root password in the future. So, I hope that video helps somebody. I googled around and I saw people were struggling. I guess. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. Important is we have it up and running and everything is doing okay. So, I hope that video helps. And touché, at least here, English Bob, right? That reminds me, I have to tell that story. So when I lived in England, I still had my Mercedes 190. And when I drove usually I drove home every now and then to Germany. And when one time I drove home, and of course the the French side of the ferry, they were on strike. Surprise, the French were on strike. So I had to go through that new tunnel, which is a scary thought, going in a tunnel under the sea. It's not really with your car. Yes, you go with your car, but on a train, and the train actually pushes through. And I was pushing the train too. I wanted to get through as fast as possible. However, I haven't had a GPS at this time, and I ended up in the middle of nowhere in France, where I had no idea where I am. Good as I was, I had limited fuel. I said, oh, if I go in the wrong direction, I might be having no fuel anymore and no means to go anywhere. So I thought, smart as I am, I went to something like a Home Depot, like a big thing, and I came to a car park, and there was an older man very close. I said, this is it. I got there, parked, got out of the car. He stood right in front of my car and me. And then in English, I asked him, I said, can you tell me which way is it going to Belgium? Because I needed to go direction Belgium, right? So that I go at least my direction home. You go from France, Belgium, Netherlands, and then you're in Germany. And I lived in Düsseldorf, so close to Düsseldorf, more the caveman here, Neanderthal. However, so I asked that guy. He looked at me, looked at my number plates, turned around, and walked away. So here I was on my own again. I said, roll a dice, jerk, so you can only go two directions. One must be right. So luckily I won. And when I was coming back to England, I told my colleagues my encounter. And they said, Dirk, so two things you shouldn't have done. He said, first of all, your Mercedes still has German number plates. He said, that is not acceptable. And then you speak English, and that is not acceptable. So he said, you can't go to an old Frenchman, speak to them English with a German car. So he said, of course you don't get an answer. So that was my experience then. Once I was in Paris, I had no problem at all. It was just maybe a little bit rural there. But I know a friend of mine, he couldn't get a room either because he was German and came with a German little van. However, this is a long time ago. It's all peace and freedom. So, yeah, that was funny. I don't know why I said this. However, now you know. Now you know how much I suffered. No, I didn't really suffer. It was pretty cool. I did not understand what was going on. But that is what it was. Is that an update? Yeah. Do I have to do something? I said clear. Doesn't do anything, no? So I just click it away. Good, we'll be fine. So, yeah, dear Peppermint users, newbies, no, not really, I mean, just put on that little line here, which I will copy. Oh, that's the wrong one. Which I will copy in my description, and then you just give your root password and you will be totally fine. Okay, this is a very short video, and most likely I'm going to install soon Antique 17 on my Packard Bell. I do have GhostBSD running there, but as I said, this is a 13 years old laptop, and it's very limited in its power. And XFCE might be a little bit heavy on it. No, FreeBSD is almost like Linux, lightweight. But I showed you guys in my video where I compared Calculate Linux to Peppermint OS with the Antiques bonus. I showed how that Antiques looks like, and I liked the idea of it, so I will play around a little bit with it. I might put Plank on like I did in the VirtualBox and to help me out, and then I'll go and see. I'll let you know how my experience is, if it slows down, because the Packard Bell is heavy breathing when I fire it up. It goes, it's working very hard. So browsers are very hard nowadays on your old hardware because they are just overblown. Nevertheless, this is it. I hope you liked that video. I hope it helped at least one person. Then it was a video well done. Speak to you soon. Have a good day. Bye bye.